as you all know, as I just spoke about, we've had the blessing. This is something that's been cooked up for a while with us and Zachary Levi working together on this with this short story that's coming through the RippaZine. Again, big shout out to Zach and big shout out to Nerd HQ. But what Zach is doing is very inspiring, for lack of better terms. You guys know all of the roles that he's played over the years and being an actor, I believe, for what, quarter century? And plus, and he has been obviously over the last years been outspoken about the issues that have plagued Hollywood and what he's done in trying to use obviously the platform that he's given to start to try to build some things that are filling that void of what we need in entertainment, as well as what he's doing with Nerd HQ, obviously from the mental health side, which is again, that is nothing short of remarkable as well. But what he's doing here, I don't know if you guys know about the Wildwood thing here, and I'll show it to you just real quick because there is one part that he talks about is what he is trying to do with this vision here for Wildwood. So let's just listen in just real quick.
Not value the people over the profit, but
And this is I'm
rather
talking
the
about what
other way around.
Hollywood
And this
was.
is part of the problem with almost all industry. And so Hollywood, yes, it's broken in a lot of ways that a lot of you probably already know. Creating a lot of entertainment that's just simply not entertaining, or if it is entertaining, containing a lot of messaging that is really not healthy. It's not good. It's not uplifting. It is very divisive. It's full of agenda that most people simply don't want and they're not looking for. And so we must create the alternative. We must create a place that is valuing the excellence of entertainment and that is valuing the artists who are making that entertainment. Ultimately, what that culminates in is not just building a better place for people to work. It also means that you got to give people better lives. You got to give them better health and wellness and education for them and their children. And so that set me off on this trajectory of, okay, all right, how do you design that? How do you build that? And ultimately that brought me to the great state of Texas. And
Obviously.
so I set out looking for land, and God brought me to an incredible piece of land. And so similar to, Hershey's, Pennsylvania. Why does Hershey's, Pennsylvania even exist? Well, some guy wanted to make chocolate, and he knew he needed to build a factory to make that chocolate. But he also understood that he needed a bunch of workers to work in that factory, and there weren't enough homes for those workers. And so, I got to build some homes. But those people also need to have good health care, and their kids need education. So I guess we're going to build some clinics, and we're going to build some schools as well. That type of a factory town, that is what we're trying to find. That is what we are going to build at Wildwood. And so Wildwood...
You can go to the website here, wildwood.com. That's WYLD wood.com. And the reality of it is he's trying to build an alternative, which is really cool. Is this not what we've been telling people to do, right? Folks that have been part of the, not just people that were part of the mainstream before, but just in general, build an alternative. And you heard him talk about early on there, like what kind of, obviously early, which we didn't show, he talks about some of his experience and what he saw behind the curtain when he entered into Hollywood and how screwed up that it was. And now he's talking about like how they're not focused on entertainment and we have to build alternatives. So he's talking about right outside of Austin, having building this Wildwood, which is this big dream, obviously, that he has, and trying to build another place for people to create and do said other things, but also not just centered around just like it's again an area. Like he said, if I got to get these workers, like he was talking about with Hershey, if I got to get these workers, I have to have, if I'm expecting people to come over here, maybe work in a factory, they have to have some place to stay. They have to have all that. It's an economy. It's the ecosystem. So he's trying to build that with Wildwood, and that is awesome. Big shout out to him. I'll be completely transparent. Despite being in Texas, that I didn't show that to you because like I'm part of it. I'm not. I'd love to be if he obviously Zach knows if he needs anything from myself or the Rippaverse, he's got us. But I just wanted to highlight that initiative because it's what we need. It is what we need. People want some sort of return to normalcy. What people have to understand is that that return to normalcy is not going to happen by us standing around hoping that the guys that control all of these various institutions change something. And Zachary is one person with the ambitious dreams. We need people continuing to do that. We need people, because it's not going to happen with just them. Even if Wildwood, becomes this thing that he's, and it really sees his vision through, we still need more. We need other guys doing awesome things. And, what he talked about in like his experiences, I spoke about this a little bit in my last show, and how, with me having a child, how really that changed my perspective, and how I really want to leave the world better than what I came in, or how I was when I came in. And that's for my children, right? And that's not going to happen by us just standing around. It's not. It's not. It's not going to happen by guys just standing around. We got to have guys out there grinding. We got to have people that are out there working, building, and creating. And kudos to him. Kudos to everybody out there that's focused on exactly that. It can be a little daunting sometimes. It can be a little even frightening. Because it's a risk. Everything that you do there, it's a lot of uncertainty. And to be completely transparent, the truth is some people aren't gonna make it. Some will, though, and I think that's why it's worth giving it a shot. We so desperately need a return to form, return to normalcy, but it's not gonna look the same way that it did. But what we can do is what our grandfathers did, grandparents did, and that's innovate. So whether it be directly, whether you're the one that's out there creating that thing, or whether you're the one supporting the thing that people are creating, you matter. You're necessary, and you're going to leave the world a much better place. You're going to be able to, keep this thing, in your circle, right? It's not about people having different opinions necessarily, but there needs to be some sort of principles, as he was talking about. It's like they weren't focused on entertainment. They had all these other agendas that were just, it conflicted with reality and what people actually wanted. We need folks out there creating those alternatives. I cannot stress that enough. So big shout out to Zachary Levi, what he's doing not only with Nerd HQ, but what he's trying to do here with Wildwood. And I encourage y'all to go check that out.